Hello, welcome to Wise Up Thriver. It is a blessing that you are here. If you are new to this channel, my name is Regina Nuwagaba. I believe in empowering potential. Today we are going to share about leveraging the value of compound effort and experience. Compound effort and experience. A story is told of a famous painter, Pablo Picasso. Once, while he walked on the streets of Paris, this young woman recognized him and she walks to him and says, "Hey, Pablo, I am a fan of your paintings. And since I've met you today, I would like you to paint an image of me." And Pablo he was like, "Right, yeah, sure, I'll do it." And he asks for a seat and sits the lady right by the street and gets his sketchbook and a pencil and starts drawing. Of course, a small crowd gathers in that moment, and in a few minutes, he had finished. Everyone was surprised. He had finished and he had done such a very, very good job. So he hands the picture, the image, to the lady and tells her that will be $5,000. The woman was surprised and she objected. She's like, "No, how can it be $5,000? This took you just a few minutes to draw it." Pablo looked at the lady, smiled, and said, "No, my dear, you are mistaken. This took me a whole lifetime." Friends watching this video, the thing is, our individual experiences cannot be separated from the whole. Like all the experiences I have had cannot be separated from the whole of who I am. And the same for you. That is the power of compounding effort and compounding experiences. I would like us to look at 5 major ways we can leverage the value of compounding effort and compounding experiences to enhance our personal growth and development. Number 1 is through consistent small actions. Compounding effort has to come from small bits of the things we do every day. We need to identify what are the small things you can do daily in line with your personal growth goals. If one of my goals is to be healthy and fit, what is the one small thing I can do daily to make sure that I am healthy and physically fit? What I usually do is I'll take about 10 to 20 minutes of a walk or do a 20-minute stretch in my house every day. And that compounds. At the end of the week, that will have compounded to 140 minutes every week. And that is 2 hours and 20 minutes. So that is the value of compounding effort. And in the end, we are building something bigger than the small things that we do. And I want to challenge you today to think about the small things that you can do every day consistently in line with your personal growth and development goal. Number 2 is through habit formation. You know the nature of habits: you sow a thought, you reap an action, and then actions done repeatedly become habits, and habits form our character, and character forms our destiny. We need to focus on creating routines that support the growth we want to see. What are the habits that you want to develop from today? You see, life is a fruit of discipline or lack of it. And habits actually ensure that our lives are effective and not just efficient. Because efficiency, we get the quick results, the immediate results, and that's it. But how do we maintain these results? How do we make the growth sustainable? That is through habit formation. The third way in which we can leverage the power of compounding efforts and experiences is through having a long-term perspective. Meaningful change takes time, and it is the principle of growth. You cannot have the fruit before the roots. We need to have a long-term perspective. Beauty with growth is that, as I mentioned in one of my previous videos, growth is not found at the end of the journey. Growth is within the journey. So within the journey, we can be able to see all the beautiful ways we are growing. We need a long-term perspective to be able to have the efforts and the experiences to compound over a long period of time, to be able to leverage, to be able to get the fruit. We need to have the roots, to have the stem, to have the leaves come up, and all these things coming together to form something whole and bigger. So let's focus on the steady progress that comes over the weeks, over the month, over the years. Number 4, embrace continuous learning. The more you know, the more you realize you don't know, and the more you actually want to know. Determine time each day to learn something new. Something new. It could be reading a book, it could be a skill, it could be maybe you watching this video is your way of learning something new. Let's determine each day to learn something new. The knowledge and the skills that we acquire accumulate over time. A very important tip on this: remember, wisdom is knowledge applied. When you acquire that knowledge, apply it. That's when it becomes wisdom. Lastly, is through reflection and adjustment. An unexamined life is not a life worth living. A quote by Socrates. An unexamined life. You can imagine if you just live your life and you never get time to pause and think about how it's going. I want to encourage you to regularly evaluate your progress. Evaluate your progress. And when things don't work, when processes and approaches don't work, have the humility to adjust. Life is not written in black and white. Hey, you are the writer of this script. And if you don't like how the movie is playing out, sit down with the script and edit it. Rescript it. Please, let's take time to reflect and adjust whenever we need to. Let's use reflection as a tool to refine our approaches, ensuring that we are moving in the right direction towards achieving the growth goals that we want to achieve. A very recent example about myself: I am an early bird. However, the schedule of my activities recently does not allow me to sleep before 10 p.m. And what happened? I decided I wanted to still push and wake up early because I know my morning hours are very productive. So I still wanted to wake up early so I can finish all the things I want to do before I go to work. But the schedule wasn't really favoring my body. I ended up sleeping less hours. Most times I need minimally 6 hours of rest, 6 hours of good night's sleep. I found that I was struggling to keep a healthy body. I would just wake up and do all the things I needed to do that early morning, but as I stepped into the day, my body would start feeling tired. I would be feeling tired, feeling like you need sleep enough, you need more rest. I had to sit and come to the reality of things and know that this is not going to work. This schedule of sleeping less than 6 hours is not going to work. It is important for us to take a step back, to pause, reflect, and adjust where necessary to make sure that we are becoming the person we really want to become. Thank you so much for being here with me this time. You are amazing. See you all next time. Bye.